Otra día en Medellín, la ciudad de eterna primavera. This isn't Medellín. This is LA. First impressions are like dreams. If you don't record them, you forget them. They are often wrong, but wrong in the way of innocence. And more often than not, they contain a certain fragile beauty. It's been 7 years since I've been back to LA. From the news, you'd think the whole place had fallen apart, but it hasn't. People like to count it out, this land of dreams. It's as vibrant as it ever was, like an ex who seems to be doing well, and you genuinely want that for them, as long as it's with somebody else. One thing I've noticed about LA compared to Medellín is that it's quiet. Just me, you, the babbling brook, occasional car, the birds, this beautiful bridge behind me. In Medellín, it is a lot of aliveness, a lot of noise of people, of reggaeton, of buses and motos. I love that vibe. In LA, where the noise you hear is mostly police sirens or helicopters, that makes filming in LA difficult. You're constantly needing to stop for sound, because a helicopter is not conducive to shooting a scene in a movie. And Medellín probably has, I don't know, a couple helicopters, maybe the police have one, maybe a news channel has one. But LA PD has, I don't know, 30, 50 helicopters, and they're going constantly. I'm sure we'll hear some on the hike today. This is such a nice little area, this sanctuary, just a few minutes from my house. You can walk over here. Haven't seen a person yet. In Latin American culture, they utilize public spaces more. They're always in parks, they're always getting together for family gatherings, kids' birthday parties. And the culture in the United States is more indoctrinated that you have to pay for something in order to make it valuable, to make it worthwhile. Like this bench I'm sitting on is free and it's totally worthwhile, but we have this thing where we believe if you're going on a date or going to meet friends, or especially like a business, paying is a requirement. And I don't know if that's a trained behavior. I think we could learn a lot from our Latin American brothers and sisters in that regard, and that we should use our public spaces. They're beautiful. I mean, look at this. Just me, you, and the birds.
deer and the the skies are not cloudy all day.
In Colombia, everyone says hello. Doesn't matter if you know the person, you've never met the person, you've never seen the person, you know you'll never see the person again. It's always "¿Cómo estás?" Everyone is very polite. Here it's not really the same. You know, Los Angeles, there is a slice of the population that is like that. I can't break this habit of saying hello to people. I don't know if I'm breaking some sort of social boundary, but I feel a little guilty. I'm like, oh, but it just comes out. The couple that I just passed, I said hello, and I said hello in Spanish. That was I was just like, ¿Cómo estás? And they were, luckily, turns out they spoke Spanish because the guy was like, "Bien usted?" And I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, like, well, half of Los Angeles speaks Spanish. I'm proud to be part of that half. We're at the entrance to Griffith Park, and this is the largest municipal park in the United States of America. There's mountains right in the city. One of the great things that makes Los Angeles so wonderful. One of those places you can go snowboarding and surfing in the same day. You can't go snowboarding here. You got to go to Big Bear for that. It doesn't snow in Griffith Park. But there are mountain lions and coyotes, mule deer. Hopefully we don't run into any of those, except maybe the mule deer. That'd be all right. 1 mile hike to Observatory, although I just walked over here, so I don't need to park. I just need to walk and hike. One thing that's impossible not to notice when you return to the USA after 7 years is the prices. Wow, what you guys been doing up here? For those interested in geo-arbitrage or how far your dollar goes, here's an example. Although I do recommend if you travel, spend on local businesses and spend with the local people. They can use it more than international companies. For example, I went to the grocery store here. It's called Gelson's now. It used to be called the Mayfair, which we all in the neighborhood called the Unfair because the prices were high. That was back then. Now it's a little nuts. So I changed and went to the Ralph's, just a regular grocery store. You know it because that's where the dude shops. I bought the same staples, the same basic things I buy for the week: chicken. Here I bought some ground turkey. That's not very common in Colombia, but vegetables, watermelon, potatoes. Nothing unusual, no booze, no specialty items. In Medellín, my haul usually is about $40 to $50 for the week for basic items, eggs, etc. So I went to Ralph's and I got all the same stuff. I was asking people to guess how much. One person guessed $200, and the sad thing is they were really close. It was $181. So your dollar definitely goes farther in other countries. You can see these trails are pretty dusty, and I'm wearing my white shoes. They're getting a little dirty. Obviously, this wouldn't fly in Colombia. A Colombian would be, after this hike, they'd be down on their hands and knees with a toothbrush, scrubbing off every last particle. Shoes are part of the outfit more. For some reason in the US, we don't really think of the shoes more as utilitarian. The outfit stops at the cuff of the pants. You know, you wouldn't walk around with dirty pants, but then you put on dirty tennis sneakers. So I'm gonna go Colombian style after this and be on here with a toothbrush, see if I can gleam up these bad boys. I saw 3 coyotes on the trail today. One of them was eating popcorn. If that isn't the most LA thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is. Maybe his name is Wiley. They're indigenous to this area. And like any locals, they deserve respect. This observatory, of course, is famous. It was in the 1955 movie Rebel Without a Cause. James Dean, knife fight. Hopefully there's no knife fight today, because all I brought was my camel pack. For those of you who are younger who might not have seen that movie, you might recognize this from GTA. Hasn't burned off yet. Of course, after 7 years, I'll wait to come to the USA, to LA, and I come in June. But it'll burn off and be beautiful. Then all the way that way is the beach, the ocean, the Pacific, and somewhere over there is Century City, where I used to work. There's the Hollywood sign. One thing I tell people, as I'm walking up here, I hear snippets of conversation, music industry, film industry, just walking by. I always tell people, like, if you want to be in one of those industries, you should move to LA or New York, but you should move. I know people say you can do anything from anywhere, but really, if you go to the source, if you go to where everyone's doing it, you're gonna learn just through osmosis. You go on a hike and you might learn something about a contract just because you overhear someone talking. It's like being in the locker room of New York sports club next to Wall Street Bank. You're probably gonna pick up a stock tip or two. Just be careful driving your Porsche through Kern Valley like this guy, Jimmy Dean. There's another pretty big difference between the US and Colombia. I actually quit smoking when I went to Colombia. The lifestyle's just healthy. The altitude. And not many people smoke, so you don't want to be sitting in the park with a bunch of people and be the only one, blowing smoke on everyone. But it's a $250 fine here. But this is more serious because we are up in the hills and there are fires in Los Angeles. You might have heard recently. We've had a bunch of serious ones. So it's more for the safety of the nature than the safety of your lungs. Drinking, on the other hand, I don't know. I think the USA babysits us a little bit too much with the whole no drinking anywhere on the street. I don't know if a few bad apples ruined that or what happened, but in Colombia you can drink on the street. You can drink anywhere you want. No one's going to do anything to you. It's not enforced. We're back at base camp. That was the end of the hike. So great to see all the people up there, all the diversity of Hollywood. There's so much diversity. The USA, there's so much diversity. Different languages like Chinese, Spanish, languages I didn't recognize. Hollywood has a unique diversity. It's like the diversity of those who stuck out in high school, whether one way or the other. The skinny jeans, the skater, the model, the thespian, whoever just kind of did things their own way. They all kind of come together in Hollywood in their own sort of style. And it's unique. Each style is unique, but there's a similarity to the diversity of the creativity, and it's really refreshing. It's Hollywood. What can you say? But you can walk past someone wearing a tuxedo, then someone wearing a tutu, people in shorts, people in jeans, people in dress pants, or all them together in one group. I call it kombucha chic. Anyways, thank you for joining me on the hike today, and get ready to head back to my other home, Medellín, Colombia. Paz. Here's a tip if you're coming to make it in Hollywood. Visit one of these places. It'd be good to know ahead of time if you're going to be famous or not. Save yourself a lot of time.